Evening all, lots going on. Conservative wipeout, rejoin polling absolutely surging. A campaign for a Brexit inquiry going full pace at the moment, and also Brexit damage absolutely mounting. And I'll come on to this at the end. But first up, it's now the case that before the results are in, we can already see that the Conservatives have lost over 1,000 seats. And this was the sort of expectation setting of Greg Hands. I couldn't be as bad as 1,000 seats. It's been more. It's been a complete trashing, and it's gone to Labour and the Lib Dems and the Greens. They have all profited wildly beyond their dreams out of the complete Conservative collapse. And our president at European Movement, Lord Heseltine, has been on LBC saying, for all of the factors, don't forget also Brexit is the elephant in the room here. The Conservative Party has got themselves right up against a wall with completely no money and no room to maneuver because they have stuffed themselves with Brexit, and they won't be able to get the economy going again and fix things until they actually acknowledge that is a fundamental problem and deal with that as a problem. He said otherwise, all promises for fixing things are just platitudes for nothing, which is an interesting contrast to what Andrew Neil was saying. Andrew Neil has said what the Conservatives need to do now to rescue themselves is to cut tax and go for growth, i.e. just try Trustnomics again. Now, I know which of those two options sounds a lot more sensible to me. Anyway, you may have missed it with all of the circus going on around the Conservative collapse, but also today there has just been new polling out by Omnisis, who have been weekly tracking rejoin versus stay out sentiment, and it has just gone to the biggest gap that they have ever recorded, with 63% saying rejoin and 37% saying stay out. Now, the 17.4 million no longer exists. If anyone says, so what, let me know when your petition gets to 17.4 million, or what about 17.4, doesn't exist anymore. It just doesn't. That number has been obliterated by millions, and the majority of this country now would vote to rejoin, and a minority, a shrinking minority, would vote to stay out. And going back to the local elections, alongside that, you've got UKIP, who are now out, as in for the first time since they started, they have no elected representatives anywhere in the country. Their last 6 councillors that they have are gone, wiped out. And so that party is effectively no more. And so I tweeted, that's the end of an era. And it's the end of, Farage's sort of big era with UKIP, because he was the one that really landed it. And if you want to celebrate, the best way to do that is to usher in the new era and join European Movement, because that membership, I can tell you, is surging as well. It's 19,100 members now and just growing all the time. I keep looking at our counter. And talking about counters, there's also the Brexit inquiry. Remember, the petition that led to, the debate. Well, that petition is still going. It's still open until May 18th. It has just gone past 200,000 signatures. If you haven't signed it yet, I'll jump on it and do it, because the number that it closes at can then be used for the campaigning that builds after that. Getting an inquiry takes a long time. People don't say yes at the first go at it. Look at getting the COVID inquiry, which I was part of campaigning for. It took months. It took lots of different pushes. But getting that number up is going to be important. And, the material that came out of the parliamentary debate on that is still doing the rounds. There's this YouTube of Hilary Benn's speech, which has gone past 250,000 views, and it's still clocking up every day. So that material is out there, that pressure is out there, more plans for that are out there. It's all about, holding all of this corruption to account. And talking about my segues today, good aren't they? And talking about holding all of that to account, here's something that you need to see. The Davis downside dossier, named after David Davis, because he infamously said back in 2016, there will be no downsides to Brexit, only a considerable upside. Well, Yorkshire Bylines decided to, in 2021, start collecting a dossier of all of the downsides reported in the press. And they've kept it meticulously. It's now gone past 1,000. Like every day and every other day, they're hoovering them up. But in here, you've now got it put into, a nice little, start page, explainer, all the different categories that they've been put into now. And then in this downside, what you've got agriculture here, you've got border issues, citizens, culture, museums, culture, still culture. What food, of course, lots of food, lots of farming, lots of meat, lots of food shortages, regulations, financial services and wood investment, the city, energy, environment. It's all here, section by section, meticulously collected. So this has been given, in a hand version to a few MPs, but it needs to get to all of them, whether Lib Dem, Labour, Green, SNP or Conservative, they all need to see this. Doesn't matter that, online associated with the article, it's had nearly 130,000 sort of views. They need this physical copy, which is 90 pages. They need this as a reference. They all need this. So what we're asking you to do is, if you go to Yorkshire Bylines, Davis Downside Dossier, either search for Yorkshire Bylines and then you'll find it on the first page at the bottom in regular features, or search for Davis Downside Dossier. You can download your own PDF of this, print it out, Surrey trees, and give it or post it to your local MP. Or if you're more environmentally friendly and don't want to do kind of like the physical in your face thing, on the Davis Downside Dossier page, there is now a link whereby you can send it to your MP. So you identify your MP, put in your email address, and then you can send it through to them so that they've got a copy. And we record which MPs have it, and we want to make sure that all of them get it. So that's in Yorkshire Bylines, the Davis Downside Dossier. Another sort of campaign on highlighting the damage that Brexit has done, which then factors into the Brexit inquiry petition, which factors into why the government is in such a ropey state at the moment. It all comes together, a consinity of effort. So there you go. That's my summary of what's been going on. That's my actions of what you should be doing. Join European movement, sign the petition, share everything on social media, find the Davis Downside Dossier, get your own copy, and make sure your MP has a copy too. And that, I hope, should keep you busy. And now I'm going to go off and keep watching the news. Cheers, guys.